All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another webinar. So I'm Nick Randlett. I'm the marketing manager for the Americas at Partnerize, and I'm thrilled to be introducing our speaker for today. It's Mike Winand. He's been at Partnerize for about 2 years as our director of client services. So one thing I just want to note before I hand it over to Mike is that if you have any questions, along the bottom of your screen, just like any Zoom, you should see something for Q&A, an opportunity to submit any questions you have that come up during the session. If you have any, Mike will try to get to them at the end if time's permitting. So with that, really excited to hand it over to you, Mike. It's all yours.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Nick, and thanks everybody for joining and have a productive conversation here. Today we're going to cover, as the slide says, the definitive guide to U.S. partnerships in 2023 and beyond. It is an interesting time in our marketing space, as it always seems to be. But we'll take a look if we can move to the next slide here. We'll take a look at the landscape that marketers should be concerned about here in the space for partnership marketing, and then define the strategies that will respond to where we stand in the marketplace and the uncertainties that are included there. And then finally, we'll take a look at some tools and resources that are available to you via Partnerize that can make it the most of those strategies and evaluating their success. So with that, we'll jump right in to where we stand presently in the U.S. marketplace, what we need to know and what we need to do about it. So no secret to marketers that costs have been rising across all marketing channels. You can see that slide there, or stat there from Meta. Their CPMs have increased 61% year over year. We're seeing similar increases from TikTok, up 185% with their massive growth last year. But even things like Google's programmatic display and Amazon CPC's costs have gone up 14% year and year. It's not just the marketer that's seeing things get more expensive. Inflation is spiking across the entire marketplace. No, you don't need me to tell you that. It peaked at 9.1% year over year in June, but continues to be above where the Fed would like it to be at the end of the year, is at 7.1%. So those increased costs are leading towards retail profit warnings that we're seeing from brands across multiple verticals. Sales actually declined year over year in December unexpectedly for the U.S. Retail marketplace by 1.1%. That's the largest drop since the previous December in 2021. And then finally, a challenge that we've talked about on webinars here in the past that is unique, not just unique to our channel, but multiple channels for marketers is the changing in tracking and data privacy requirements across the globe and in the US in particular, where the deprecation of third-party cookies and the death of the cookie are forcing marketers to rethink how they can interact and engage with specific audiences. And we think that the partnership channel is uniquely positioned to take that place. And we'll talk a bit more about that as we go on. However, if we move to the next slide, we'll see that there is some optimism to be had in the world, despite the uncertainty that we've just covered. And a lot of that has to do with the great and permanent shift to online shopping that occurred post the COVID-19 pandemic. This chart here from US retail e-commerce says that the growth we saw in 2022, while declining a little bit, is expected to remain in healthy double-digit numbers across a number of verticals. You can see digital shifting, as they call it, has really been the norm. Customers who were not comfortable purchasing certain items online are now doing so with pretty consistent regularity. For the most part, you can see apparel and health and beauty staying rather consistent, but there's even categories that one might not think as an online purchase. People are feeling more and more comfortable doing, as you can see in this stat here. Food and beverages are seeing the largest amount of growth across these various verticals, and people even buying food online where they previously wouldn't have thought of that. So where is this coming from? Well, it's coming from US consumers being in a different place and feeling more comfortable purchasing things online. 35% of US workers can now work from home permanently. Companies like Partnerize are even becoming remote first businesses, as I am here in Austin, Texas. We're seeing that 13.8% year-over-year e-commerce growth is projected for 2023. And that's just in line with the 4.1% that we saw in 2022. And then when you take a look at how consumers feel, 40% of them in a recent survey said that they are enjoy shopping more online than they do in stores, period, which means that shift to online shopping is not just something that was forced on them, but something consumers feel comfortable with and is going to continue to grow. So if we move to the next slide here, we can take a look at a little bit more data here that talks about the partnership opportunity, what the space looks like in e-commerce overall, and how we can double click on that and take advantage of it here in the partnership channel. So according to Shopify, $6.3 trillion will be spent online in 2023. That's globally. 1 trillion of that is going to come from the United States. And a large portion of that is going to come from the partnership channel. As you can see, the US partnership industry spent $9.2 billion in partnership advertising, which resulted in $71 billion in e-commerce revenue. And it's not just something they feel they have to do. CMOs in a recent survey said 65% of them said they plan to increase their spend in affiliate partnerships to capture some of this online momentum and find audiences where they couldn't before. And currently, 81% of brands use the partnership channel across the customer journey, identifying new customers and engaging with customers via brand awareness campaigns, not just in that last click to get conversions. We'll talk about that a bit further here in a moment. So you can see a little bit more information on the market presently. And we can see that there's a confluence here between the current market volatility that I started with the long-term channel maturity of the partnership channel that we think leads to a potential success in 2023. This chart here that you're seeing shows that CMOs, when surveyed by Gartner, plan to spend 8.1% of their total advertising spend on the partnership channel. That's right in line with things that you would say are more mature, such as display video advertising, display advertising, or even SEO. So you can see that the United States spending that $1 trillion online that I mentioned to before, and the amount of investment and confidence that exists in this channel results in a lot of opportunity that we can discuss here now. So when we talk about the partnership channel, let's take a look and double click on the types of partnerships, those that have been around for a while, and some that we may want to consider now that there's more and more opportunity to go online. First and foremost is the vouchers, the coupons, and the deals. This is often thought of the grandfather of what partnership channel is, that last click, identifying savvy shoppers trying to get a deal. They will always be a part of a successful affiliate and partnership strategy, but there are a number of partners and partner types that we can explore that previously weren't available, whether due to lack of consumers online in a certain niche or the lack of technology to unlock that engagement. There are a number more here to discuss. Content is becoming more and more important across various purchase types. They can range from those large media style conglomerates that have now found that a CPA relationship can be healthy for them, to individual bloggers that are focusing on a very specific audience with a very specific topic of interest. There's the comparison sites, which we're seeing a lot of success with lately, help customers make better shopping choices between a couple of different choices. This is helping customers really in the middle of their journey when they're trying to decide exactly which brand they wish to choose. We're seeing this grow in our partnership space and really be in the middle there where it can engage folks and help drive towards that conversion. Additionally, we've got the cashback sites. These are the Rakutens, the Top Cashbacks, the Capital One Shoppings of the world that offer consumers a incentive, often cashback, sometimes other loyalty formats such as reward miles, that again will be an important part of any diversified program. And a couple others that we're seeing tremendous growth in is meta search. So this really started in that travel sector. Think of these as those sites where you type in where you want to go for a flight, and then you get a lot of results back from multiple sites all at once. That's where the meta comes in. But we're also seeing success in this type of partnership in other sectors as well, particularly finance, think credit cards, or professional services, anything that's not a specific one-time purchase. Those meta search partners can be really, really helpful and help unlock consumers who may not be thinking of your brand first and foremost. And to that end, subnetworks are doing much of the same thing. Subnetworks allow you to work with a large number of partners, usually these long tail affiliates who may not have large audiences, but nevertheless, when coming together under one umbrella, can have a real impact on any successful program. This can be an opportunity for you to work with some of those nano influencers, and I'll talk about those folks here in a minute as well. So those are the partners that are come first and foremost to mind, but there are some non-traditional partnerships that any successful campaign should really be considering as a potential use case for the partnership channel. One of those being on-site conversion partners. We have several successful partners. RevLifter and Upsell It are ones that we work with quite closely with a number of brands. And they grant kind of a new level of real-time, hyper-personalized offers while on-site, helping customers make that final purchase, pushing them over any concerns they may have, or gathering more information and gathering leads while they're on your site. And the benefit of this is it not only gets that consumers to make that final purchase, but it also unlocks a lot of data, which is possible, where it be emails, collecting other user data that you can see directly on site, which then can be turned around and used in other channels like PPC, SEO, and display. And this is all done in a CPA environment. So you're only paying for those conversions or those actions which you've agreed with the partner is what you're trying to achieve, along with A/B testing to know that what is happening is actually an incremental investment, and then you can allow to move that over to other channels. Another area is card-linked offers. Think of this as a loyalty program, but the only thing you have to do to get those loyalty points is use a particular credit card. So by doing an affirmative click with a number of partners, Cardlytics being one of the biggest players, you can engage with customers and get them to make a purchase that they may have otherwise gone someplace else, because they'll know that using their particular card, they'll get that benefit or those miles, what have you, through the Cardlytics relationship that you have. Thinking bigger picture here are brand-to-brand partnerships. So this is an opportunity where a brand can actually serve as an affiliate for another brand. And oftentimes it's a reciprocal relationship where there'll be affiliates for one another. This is something where we've had a lot of success in the EMEA market, and now are exploring this with a number of brands in the US as well, and something that you should consider. This kind of two-way partnership has a lot of benefits. It drives new customer acquisition. So customers who are already customers of one brand are now being exposed to another. It increases sales across specific categories. So think tickets that for concerts or shows, right in line with other travel services like flights and hotels. It improves customer loyalty, so they know that the value of a certain brand or a brand cachet that you're tying yourself with can elevate your own brand or vice versa. And it creates synergy between the two brands in other ways that they may be able to operate and engage with customers in a bespoke and unique way. And then finally here, the term that we hear a lot of lately is influencer and influencer marketing. Aligned with the rest of the world, partnerships are starting to take an eye of influencers, of not just being, out there as a engagement model, but a real growing trend that can help top line sales. Affiliate marketers are really aligning in a couple of different strategies with influencers, whether that be to promote your brand through incentives or discounts, or increasing your own followers and engagements, and talking about that customer lifetime cycle that we spoke of earlier here. If I can double click a little bit on influencers on the next slide here. It's important to think of the evolution of this space. So it's not, again, as I mentioned, not just an opportunity to get in front of your customers, but to actually incentivize them to make a purchase. Some statistics that we've seen in recent studies show that 61% of the covetable 25 to 34-year-olds have made a purchase already on social media in 2022. And then 39.9% of all US internet users will purchase this year something through a social channel. We're seeing a lot of growth and investment for particular brands in the influencer channel. US marketers are going to spend roughly $5 billion on influencer marketing in 2022. That's up from $1.1 billion in 2021, so a 5 times increase. That growth rate is expected to decline slightly, but to continue in an upward trend. And then e-commerce is often driven through influencer and social. So this can be a great way for us to start journeys where it may finish elsewhere. One point that I just want to make out is that we talked about the third-party cookies being a challenge, and targeting specific audiences can be really, really difficult directly through, say, a Meta program, Instagram, or TikTok. Now, brands are finding that using the partnership channel, you can access the already existing audiences and target to very, very niche audiences through a CPA relationship. This is underscored if we go to the next slide here by our own data here at Partnerize. This graph here, it shows you just the percentage of signups coming from a particular type of publisher model, self-identified publisher model. You can see this goes from into 2022 all the way through, into 2020 rather, all the way through 2022. And the green part there is social media. So you can see that at the start of 2020, it was only a fraction of our publisher signups. And now towards the end of it, it makes up a large majority of the new signups. This indicates that there's a strong influence and a strong interest with long-tail influencers to use the partnership channel to engage with brands that they may not have previously been able to, whether it be too complicated or simply their audiences aren't large enough. So there's no need to have to set up or command these high upfront fees that typically happen in the influencer space. Instead, you can work on simply a performance basis through this channel, which is a great opportunity for the influencers to work with great brands like yourselves, and a great opportunity for the brands to identify highly engaged followers with a low risk performance only basis. So given that that's the landscape that we're in, what are our strategies for 2023? How do we take advantage of this unique space of volatility, but also dependence on online shopping? There's a couple of things we can focus on if we can move to the next slide here. First and foremost, it is critical to set your goals and objectives before you begin developing a strategy for your partnership marketing channel. So what is your benchmark for success as a brand? What is the ROAS that you're looking to get out? What types of customers are you looking to go after? When you look back at the end of 2023, which will be here before you know it, will you be able to point to and say, this is what we were able to achieve? Make sure that you structure your data in line with those objectives. So if that's new customers, if that's increased engagement, the data that you're providing through your platform like Partnerize is going to be critical to understand whether or not you're being successful. And then make sure that you are aligning your partners to those goals as well, and making sure that you're diversifying your program mix to the ends that you're looking to achieve. And so sharing that information whenever possible with partners can be helpful for them to know exactly what type of consumer behaviors are going to result in increased commissions and increased EPCs. So to that end, it's important to leverage a strategic commissioning strategy that aligns with your goals and the partners that you're looking to attract. So regularly reviewing your existing goals and then structuring your commissioning on top of that is going to be critical for success in 2023 and making sure that you're engaged across all the partner models that we reviewed today. A couple of commissioning examples that I'd like to go over. No longer is the flat commission rate really acceptable in this channel to make sure that you're achieving your goals. If a goal of yours, and it is for a lot of our advertisers, is to drive new user engagement, pay a two-tier commission, one on existing customers and one on new customers. That way you're able to manage your overall spend, but engage and incentivize those partners who are driving those new customers who will then become loyal ones down the line. If you're looking to increase your average order value, given that every customers are price conscious, commission based off of either the number of items in a basket or the overall total value of a basket, which can help those long tail partners focus on those items that are going to get that average order value up. If you're looking to focus on incrementality, if you're getting that directive from on high, you can incentivize partners to target lapsed or repeat buyers. If you're able to identify that information and provide it in the platform, we can certainly commission on it. If you're looking to increase your margins, which in the days of inflation is important as well, you can create variable rates based on product type. So if there's product that you're looking to move out the door, product that may be taking up space in a warehouse, providing a higher level of commission is a great way to get those out the door and on the trucks. Or if you're looking to look at high margin SKUs, those SKUs that may not be as expensive to produce, but can really move the needle, providing a higher level of commission because you have the room there can really help incentivize customers where your blended CPA may be higher, but you're only paying on those items where you have the room to grow. So while you're doing all of this, it's critical to review your data parameters, making sure that you're passing to your partners the data they need to be successful. So taking a look today, after we're done speaking, are you passing a new customer flag? Do you have that value? Do you know the SKUs that have the highest margin? And being able to take a look at that data and making sure that it's a two-way street, within reason, providing partners with as much information about your brand and as much information about what would make them successful and get them the highest return on the traffic that they're sending to your site is critical. It is partnerships after all. So making sure that that data is available and sharing that with those partners freely and often is critical, as much of that as possible. And then finally, all the things that I've mentioned here sounds like a lot of work, a lot of spreadsheets and a lot of data. So don't be afraid to embrace automation where it is available. Make sure to listen to the Partnerize platform when it tells you certain partner recruitment opportunities that are available. Making sure that you can use the automation within our tool to commission and leverage, new tools such as preferred partner, exclusive codes, items that make it easier for you to incentivize customers without having to incentivize partners without having to do a lot of that day-to-day manual labor. Work smarter, not harder. So finally, let's double click a little bit on those tools and resources that are available to you, and making sure that you're spending the right amount of time on those areas that are going to make the most impact for your brand. So here's a chart here, which I'll go over to make sure that you're managing your program in a way that best serves the brand and your partners. So our belief is that you should be spending about half of your time nurturing and doing business development. So that's communication with your top partners, understanding where the opportunities lie with partners, sharing that data that I've just been talking about with your partners to make sure that they are empowered and have the information they need to be successful. That's half of your day. With the other half, what should we be doing? About 10% of that time is making sure that you're managing your payments, that you're validating orders, that you're setting your commission models that we discussed, and making sure that you're paying on time and that the bonus payments that you may pay for a certain placement or what have you get paid. It's the difference between choosing one brand or another. Partners are often on shoestring budgets, and the sooner that you can pay them and the more upfront you can be about what it will be paid is important. 20% of that time is going to be trying those new partner types, testing new things. So that's going to be testing those category or SKU-based commissions, those new customer flag commissions, understanding what those are, and then spending the last fifth of your week, a full day, in reporting, making sure that you're understanding who your top partners are. Why are they your top partners? Monitoring trends of those objectives that you set at the beginning of the year. Are you meeting those goals? Identifying peaks and drop-offs for particular partners, moving back and engaging with those partners to make sure those peaks are either capitalized on or those drop-offs are eliminated. That's where we really see most of the time focusing on. If you're spending too much time in reporting, if you find yourself in reporting all day, we need to take a look at other tools that are available to you to get some of that information so that you can spend that half of your week engaging with your partners. So we're coming towards the end here, but do want to give you a checklist to leave with to make sure that you're taking a look at the things that can be successful for you in 2023. Just a quick review. Again, set your goals and objectives. Make sure that those are defined, actionable, and ones that you can share with partners. Did you have specific targets that you wanted to hit in previous years? Did those targets change? How did they change? Conduct competitor analysis, making sure that you are in the same spaces that they are. Deep dive into their affiliate channel. What's the loyalty payout? They're paying out loyalty partners. What partners are they working with in ways that you aren't working with now? Are they with influencers, perhaps in a CPA relationship that you haven't? Organize meetings with key partners. It's funny how things can be unlocked in a Zoom call or a face-to-face meeting that an email just can't cover. Making sure that you're aligning your objectives, making sure you understand their objectives, what they're successful with, and plan out key initiatives with them to make sure that they know the timeline and exactly what type of consumer behavior will be best for them and best for the brand. Put together specific plans on shopping days or peaks and valleys. Every industry and every brand has different seasonality. Make sure that your partners are aware of that and they can respond in kind. Prepare to innovate. Don't be afraid to test. Again, we ask that 20% of your time be spent on trying those new things and really pushing the envelope, as this opportunity that we present here in 2023 is rather unique. So if that's putting influencers in as part of your program or launching that brand to brand partnership that I talked about, make sure that you put in time and put in effort to make sure that's available. And then finally, pre-book your review dates. Set objectives, set these tests, set defined timelines for them. And so you can understand what needs to change and when. If goals need to change, making sure that you identify exactly what those figures are, where you can define success versus failure. All right. And that is about all we had for you today. Obviously, today's information will be provided for you in an email so that you can see this information as well. But we did have one question here that I did want to answer, specific around the Google Books affiliate program, and what types of organizations are looking to become that type of affiliate. I will get you in touch with the team that runs that Google program. It's not wholly different than other types of advertisers. It's just in online portion of business. There's no physical item that is getting transferred. So an ideal candidate is anybody who can align with their goals. So I would say very close to the data that they're putting out. I don't see them as being too much of a walled garden. I'll stay on here for a few more minutes to see if there's any other questions. No, it looks like that's it. Well, I appreciate everybody for their time today. Again, we'll make sure to get a takeaway to you. And as always, if there's any questions, we're always available online and via the emails that we'll send out. So I appreciate your time today, and have a great 2023.
Mike, one note before we wrap here. Someone asked for your email. If you could just share that.
Oh yeah, my email is just my first name dot my last name at Partnerize. So Mike.Winand, that's WINAND at partnerize.com.
Great. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks all. Appreciate it.